I'll tell you what's crazy, right?
Yes, what what's crazy?
I'll tell you what's
Mhm.
crazy. I'll finish with what's crazy. I'll tell you what's crazy. What's crazy is
Mhm.
sometimes we learn the most from people we like the least. Now, it's good and bad because it's the it's good because it's challenging our preferences. Because it's too easy to say something's all bad, the same as it's too easy to say something's all good. And I I've learned a lot from listening to people that I don't like, and not just yeah, 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 and
Mhm.
and that's kind of hard because it's almost like it's almost like eating food that you don't like or something like that.
Make you sick. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a kind of situation where there's the poison is a little bit of the cure because the the challenge of that experience tells us where we need to grow. And it's also the challenge of understanding that there's there's people that we don't want to listen to and that we don't like who actually have good ideas about things. They just have a really, really horrible way of expressing them. because they probably don't because they probably don't have empathy and they probably are expressing themselves rather than expressing that thing. And
Mhm.
um, that's just a lack of self-awareness. And I I think that that's very true in the sort of parent-child relationship where parents have more experience. They know a lot of. Let me give you an example. I'll give you a real example from.
Mhm.
I would like to
Parent,
say
child.
I would like to say that my mother is the worst person on the planet, and sometimes she is. But
Yes.
but at the same time she can. So, at the same time, she's able to do things that I can't do,
Mhm.
and say she could it's just as simple as she could cook some kind of food much better than I could do that, right? So as much as I'd like to say it's all bad,
It's
it's just
not.
it's not all bad. It's mostly bad with with a few little good things uh, here and there, and what we what we focus on becomes what matters, and we shouldn't ignore the negative things. We shouldn't ignore the bad things. We need to realize that they're there. But we
If you.
have to choose what the focus is. We have to choose the topic of conversation. We have to choose the direction. We have to choose. It's our lives. Yeah. And in my experience, most people will want to derail the train. We're all trains going down some tracks in some direction somewhere. And a lot of people want to get the train off the tracks and go in a different direction. But we have to be focused, and to be focused we have to have vision, and to have vision we need to realize how powerful our own imagination is, and and realize that without the vision we're not going to get anywhere. But this, what would I call it, um, so, strict is negative but stern is truthful. Now they're very similar ideas. But strict has no flexibility, but stern makes you realize what the truth of the situation is and what is important. So a teacher, rather than being strict, should be stern, and that's something we can apply to our whole lives.
Mhm.
Rather than being strict with people, be
Sorry.
stern with them, and state what we feel, state what we think, and state that we could be wrong.
Straight
And
and stern.
yeah, it's um, and just see how things go. I think that's a good way to approach life. And as I said, there were lots of things that there were a lot of really interesting things that you wrote that I think can be um, opened up and explored more. Life is a big topic. It's it's also important from a personal perspective. It's important to realize a person's limitations as well. And what I mean by that is that I can only find in your expressions things that I've experienced myself. What an amazing limitation, right? What an amazing limitation. And when we understand that we're all limited that way, we can only talk really about a piece of music that we're both aware of, right? We've both heard. I can describe to you a song that you haven't heard, but it's not the same. Yeah. You know, if I say like Guns N' Roses, Paradise City, like everybody knows that song, right? So you probably know that song, right? So then people can relate to probably. So so this is within what we are doing together. This is our limitation, and I express the limitation because the growth beyond that is within you and what you choose to do and what you're aware of about your activities. What I can do is shine some light on things that I understand because I've experienced them. But there's a hell of a lot of things more that I haven't experienced than what I have experienced. So be aware of, and this is great, be aware of the other opinions and the other perspectives. And when you've got people around you that you trust, to share some ideas with them and maybe look for some insightful feedback from them as well, because you never know where that golden piece of information is going to come from that really makes a difference. What I'm saying is I'm just a really small person in a big world, so there's a lot more, there's a lot more advice and help and assistance connected with various ideas out there. But